How many of us already practice what I talk about? How many of us that actually write out that statement, today is going to be my peaceful day every day? Okay, not many. What is the deal then? What's the problem? What is the problem stopping you from writing that down? Is it because it's not necessary? Or what is the problem? Please raise your hand if you actually write that statement down every morning. Raise your hand. Okay, less than 20 people. So may I ask, what is the purpose of us coming out today? For peace? Then what is the problem when I already share peace, the key to have peace, but you're not doing it? While I ask how many of you have listened to my talk, and all of you raise your hands, means you already listened to my talk how many times? Many times? Because I have been talking like 104 days, 104 or 5 days already. So if you're still coming out for this mission, but you are not doing what we're supposed to do to have peace, then I really don't know what is the purpose of coming out. Because when you come out here, first of all, you have to put a lot of effort into it. The night before maybe. And then this morning you have to plan out everything to come out, and then stuck in the traffic. And then in the cold, lining up all the way from out there to here, and then silently or patiently standing out there to wait for us to deliver a speech again. So all those are effort and time, right? But after we listen to the talk, and we're still not practicing, so what is the point? Are we just here to join the fun, the parade, or what? Or concert? This is not a concert. This is not a parade. This is obviously a walk for peace talk, right? And we are coming out just to listen to the talk and then go back to that. It really is really not necessary for me. And I'm speaking on behalf of all of you. You know why? Because the reason why I took on this journey that I already shared, I have seen so much suffering around me. So much. In Fort Worth, Texas alone. During the pandemic, I have seen so much suffering. People have lost their family members, lost their jobs, lost their business, everything. And we given out food for 750 families per week for 2 years straight. And then I travel even to Africa to do the disaster relief. I travel, everywhere I travel, I see sufferers. Not talking about materials, talking about mental health. I have seen so much sufferings like that, and that is the reason why it's forced me to do something for our country and the world. And so that is the reason why I choose to walk for peace, hoping that to raise the awareness of peace to the people who I meet along the road, so that people can find peace for themselves and their family members. This is not about bringing world peace. There are so many people who have sacrificed their life for peace, and of course, it can only help a portion of the world, not the whole world. Nobody in this world can do that, including our venerable monks. That is why I mentioned that we walk just to raise the awareness of peace, so that you can practice to have peace for yourself. If our world, which is inside of this physical body, if we do not have peace, there will be no more peace. If this world cannot be at peace, there will be no world peace out there. The world will continue spinning and doing all those things and throwing all the lemons to the people, to the beings. And we here, we just have to love ourselves to protect ourselves, to manage our emotion and reactions, not to let that world spin us. That is all to keep us safe, happy, and peaceful. After all those sharings that I have shared every single day for the last 105 days, I talk a lot. The first time in my life that I ever talked that much. The whole day in the morning, started from the morning until night time, 10 o'clock. And then after that, I still have duty to do. And then after 12 a.m., I get to rest a little bit and then get up, prepare myself for ready to go again. Every day like that. It's because I truly believe we as a human beings, we really need help on peace. To have peace. To build peace for ourselves. And I am willing to do all this. We are not giving up of what we're supposed to do. To share love. To share all these with all the people. But why do I have to do this and why do we have to do this? It's because we are human beings. It doesn't matter what background we have. It doesn't matter what belief and faith and religions we believe. We have the same blood color, which is red. We have the same face here, which is sweet. We are the same as human beings. We have the smoke, we have hands, legs, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, the same thing. We are not different, and we deserve better. We cannot be a slave for material and for people to spin us, for people to control us. We've been there, we've been doing that for a long time. Letting people controlling us, being a slave to all those materials. This is not slavery time. It's gone. And of course, we don't need to hold all those anger and hatred anymore because of all those history. It's already become a history. No one can change it. We cannot live with it. We have to move on. They have sacrificed their life for freedom, for peace, for us to have a peaceful life like this. So we should move on and let all those wounds be healed within loving kindness and passion so that peace can bloom and flourish throughout this universe. And in order for us to have peace, again and again I have to say, there is no other way except we have to be mindful. If we cannot be mindful, then we continue letting people controlling us. How does people control us? Just say one thing, one word. When they trigger us, just with one word, we react right away. We react right away. And after that reaction, we suffer. We hold hatred, anger. Is that right? That is just one word from this now. Not talking about action, physically. Just one single word that can trigger us and let us jump around. And at the end we will suffer. Nothing else. Just like the monkey that I always say. The monkey when entering to the cornfield. This hand grab that coin and stick right here, and then grab that coin and stick right here. Keep doing this. Keep doing this after the monkey got out from that cornfield. The whole field are damaged, but only 1 or 2 coins in his hand. We are the same. We've been trying to grab everything in this world. We grab a lot of things. Even if it's not necessary, it's not needed, we still grab it. Grab it to ourselves. Try to grab it as much as we can. And at the end, we only cause sufferings. Nothing better than sufferings. We barely can have a peaceful day without family members. Is that right? And how much energy and how much time we spend for all those sufferings again in this lifetime. We don't have that much time left. We don't have that much energy left. Why do we have to waste it? Coming out here, spend a lot of time to stand right here. That's a lot of time and effort that I mentioned right at the beginning. And then after listening to the talk, when we go home, we do nothing, then everything go back to normal. It means you waste your time. It means you waste your time a lot. And I don't want that. I really don't want that. If we willing to come out here, we should take this into action seriously. To have peace for ourselves and our family, that is how you love yourself. That is the only way that you can love yourself, show yourself love. Not this physical body. I'm talking about the inner child. The inner child been crying and asking for help every single day, every single moment, but we see no. I'll show. Suffer deeply. We live with stress and anxiety every single day. And we pass those on to our children. Our children grow in with all those anxiety and stress as well. Because seeing us stressed, frustrated, they cannot be happy. Do we really want our kids to grow up that way? Or we want them to have a better life? Of course, we want them to have a better life. And that better life only happens when we change ourselves to be better. That is why I always say, every morning when you wake up, just grab a piece of paper and a pen out, write out that statement. It won't take you that long. Today is going to be my peaceful day. That is how you practice to have peace. That is how you practice to have a new habit. That is how you practice to concentrate. That is very simple and very easy thing to do in our life. While you spend a lot of time doing nonsense things, but only this thing is very important for our life, but we will not do it. We still not consider to do it. Then that is not loving yourself. Or maybe you think that this is something that the children do or teenagers should do, not us, maybe. No, it's for all ages. It's for all ages. You, first of all, grab a pen and a paper. Means that you are mindful to remember that, oh, I need to get a paper and a pen out. Without mindfulness, we cannot remember all those. We forget, right? And then when we got the paper out, when we set the paper on the table, we have that thought. Today is going to be my peaceful day. Now you grab your pen on your hand, start to write. Focus on that writing. Each and every movement of your hand, your finger, your pen. Focus on it. This is how you train yourself to concentrate. This is how you train yourself to move your fingers around. Because we've been using this, typing on the keyboard and on the phone like this all the time already. Now, if you hold the pen to write, your finger probably hurt. Try it and you will see if what I say is true or not. Because you've been typing only and then just one finger pointing on that keyboard of the phone, your lover. And that is why now when you hold the pen to write it, your finger becomes painful. I've been there, done that. I understand, I know. And by doing this, you train yourself to have concentration. You train yourself to slow down. You train yourself to go back to the old day. Not typing on your phone, today is going to be my peaceful day. I don't want that. Don't do that. A paper and a pen. It reminds you better throughout your day. Then after that, read it over with your eyes. When you have that written down on that paper, now you can look at it with your own eyes and then read it over and over. This is how you train your eyes to work with your mind. Earlier, you trained your hand to work with your mind. Now you train your eye to work with your mind. These two always pair together. Hand, mind, pair together. Eye, mind, pair together. After you read it over and over with your eyes, now you read it out loud with your mouth. Now mouth and mind pair together. Today is going to be my peaceful day. Read it out loud like that to tell the universe that today is going to be my peaceful day so that no one in this world can mess it up. No one in this world can mess our days up if you're not allowed. You only allow when you react on what people say and do. Like I said, if the person stands right behind you, if they happen to step on your toe, your heel, or they push you, right at that moment, look at your chest, feel it, to see if that fire starts the fire or not. Start burning up or not. If it is, it means that you are You reacting right there with anger. But if you look around, if you look back, turn around, and then you look at that person with a smile, are you okay? Are you okay? With a kind way of asking, are you okay? May you be well, be happy, and be peaceful. The way you react like that, you be at peace at that. You give that person a chance to practice peace as well. Right? But when you turn back and you look straight at that person with bullet eyes, that is a different story. Then that fire starts burn. Your chest heated up. It burned you. You turn into barbecue. Okay? And that is how you ruin your day. Just that simple. Or let's say if you walk into your house, your husband put something on the floor on the walkway, and then you happen to kick it because while you walk, you talk with your lover on your hand, your cell phone. You don't look on the floor to see what's on the floor. And then you kick on it, now you get mad. Who put that pot right there?
It is a curious paradox of the human experience that we are often willing to travel great distances, endure waiting in long lines, and brave the elements to attend a gathering for peace. Yet we hesitate to take the single, silent step required to create that peace within ourselves. We live in an era where the concept of wellness is a billion-dollar industry and the desire for tranquility is a universal language. Yet there remains a profound gap between what we know we should do and what we actually practice. We listen to wisdom, we nod in agreement, and we feel the temporary high of inspiration. But when the morning comes and the alarm clock rings, the resolve evaporates. Venerable Bhikkhu Panikkara, a spiritual leader who has walked across nations to sow the seeds of mindfulness, poses a question that cuts through our defenses with gentle precision. How many of us actually wake up and write down the statement, "Today is going to be my peaceful day"? It seems too simple to be effective, perhaps even childish in its directness. We are accustomed to complex solutions for complex problems. We think peace requires a retreat in the mountains, a change in career, or a shift in geopolitical dynamics. But the truth is far more confronting. If we are not willing to make a conscious, written contract with ourselves at the start of the day, to set the intention for peace before the chaos of the world intervenes, then we are merely hoping for peace rather than creating it. We are like attendees at a concert, enjoying the performance of harmony without ever learning to play the instrument ourselves. The effort we spend to appear at a peace walk, the planning, the driving, the standing in traffic, is wasted if we return home and immediately resume the frantic, reactive patterns that define our suffering. To understand why this internal commitment is so vital, we must first look with clear eyes at the landscape of suffering that surrounds us. It is easy to become desensitized to the pain of the world, to view it as a news cycle rather than a reality. However, true compassion is born from witnessing. The Venerable's journey is not one of sheltered idealism, it is a path forged through the heart of human hardship. From the food lines in Fort Worth, Texas, during the height of the pandemic, where thousands of families faced the sudden collapse of their security, to the disaster-stricken regions of Africa, the face of suffering is ubiquitous. It transcends borders and economic status. But the suffering is not merely material, it is profoundly mental. We see a world that is spiritually malnourished, where anxiety and depression have become the baseline state of existence for millions. The purpose of walking for peace is not the arrogant belief that one person's footsteps can magically cease all global conflict. Rather, it is an act of radical awareness. It is a demonstration that peace is possible, but only if we stop waiting for the world to change first. The world will always spin. It will always throw lemons at us. Economies will crash, viruses will spread, and politicians will argue. If our internal state is dependent on external circumstances being perfect, we are doomed to a life of volatility. The only sanctuary that cannot be taken from us is the one we build inside. This is why the mission of peace is an individual responsibility before it is a collective one. If the microcosm of our own mind is at war, we cannot possibly contribute to the peace of the macrocosm. We must protect ourselves, not with walls of stone, but with the fortress of a managed mind. Yet, what prevents us from building this fortress? It is often our own restless nature, a quality the Venerable likens to a monkey in a cornfield. This analogy strikes a chord deep within the modern American psyche, where the culture of more is the water we swim in. Imagine a monkey entering a field of corn. Overwhelmed by the abundance, it grabs one ear of corn with the left hand, then sees another and grabs it with the right. Then it sees a third, drops the first to grab the new one, and tucks it under an arm. It continues this frantic grasping, moving from stalk to stalk, never satisfied, always reaching for the next best thing. By the time the monkey leaves the field, it has destroyed the crop, trampled the potential, and yet it leaves holding only 1 or 2 ears of corn, the same amount it could have held if it had simply stood still and been grateful. We are that monkey. We spend our limited time and energy chasing the next promotion, the new car, the better phone, the validation of strangers on the internet. We clutch at these things desperately, believing they are the source of our happiness. But in the process of constant grasping, we trample the field of our lives. We damage our relationships, neglect our health, and exhaust our spirits. At the end of our days, we cannot take the surplus with us. We leave with nothing better than silence. The tragedy is not that we have desires, but that we are enslaved by them. We are slaves to materials and slaves to the opinions of others, letting them spin us around like tops. We forget that underneath the status and the possessions, we are all fundamentally the same. We share the same red blood, the same nervous system that registers fear, the same eyes that seek beauty, and the same heart that longs for love. To recognize this shared humanity is to step out of the cornfield of competition and into the open space of connection. It is the realization that the era of slavery, to masters or to materialism, must end within our own minds. This liberation begins with the reclamation of our attention. And this brings us back to the specific, tangible practice of the morning ritual. In a digital age where our fingers fly across glass screens, tapping out messages we barely think about, the act of writing with a pen on paper has become a revolutionary act of mindfulness. The Venerable suggests a return to the old ways, not out of nostalgia, but out of neurological necessity. When we type on a phone, we are often on autopilot, our minds already 3 steps ahead of our thumbs. But when we pick up a pen, the friction of ink against paper demands our presence. The instruction is precise. Wake up, take a piece of paper, and write, asterisk, today is going to be my peaceful day. This is a training exercise for the entire being. First, you must have the mindfulness to remember the task, to pause before the rush of the morning routine begins. Then, as you hold the pen, you engage the hand, you feel the muscles in your fingers, perhaps noticing a stiffness that reveals how rarely we use these fine motor skills anymore. You focus your eyes on the tip of the pen, training your vision to stay with the creation of the words rather than darting around the room. Finally, you read the sentence out loud, engaging the voice and the ears, hand, eye, mouth, mind, all synchronized in a single moment of intention. This is how we tell the universe, and more importantly, our own subconscious, that we are in command of this day. It is a declaration of sovereignty. By doing this, we set a boundary that says, I will not let the chaos of the world trespass on my peace today. It transforms an abstract wish into a concrete reality, one that we can look at and read over and over again whenever the day threatens to derail us. But the true test of this morning vow comes not when we are alone in the quiet of our kitchen, but when we step out into the friction of the world. Peace is easy in isolation, it is proven in conflict. The Venerable offers a visceral scenario. You are standing in line, perhaps at the grocery store or a crowded event, and someone steps heavily on your heel. Or perhaps you walk into your home and trip over a toy your partner left in the hallway. In that split second, a biological reaction occurs. The fire starts in the chest. It is a physical sensation of heat, a rising tide of adrenaline and indignation. This is the critical juncture of mindfulness. Most of us, controlled by habit, react instantly. We spin around with bullet eyes, ready to attack. We shout. We blame. We let the fire consume us until we are, as the metaphor goes, turned into barbecue. We burn ourselves with our own anger. The toe hurts for a moment, but the anger can ruin the entire day, lingering in our system, poisoning our interactions, and robbing us of the peace we promised ourselves that morning. The alternative is the path of the peaceful warrior. It requires us to catch that fire the moment it sparks, to look at the chest, acknowledge the heat, and choose a different response. Instead of a curse, we turn with a smile and ask, are you okay? We offer kindness to the clumsy, patience to the forgetful. In doing so, we do not just save the other person from embarrassment, we save ourselves from suffering. We extinguish the fire before it burns down our house. This is not passivity, it is the highest form of self-control. It is refusing to let a clumsy stranger or a forgetful spouse have the power to destroy your happiness. Ultimately, this practice is an act of profound love, not just for the self, but for the generations that follow. We often talk about self-love as if it were a luxury, a bubble bath or a treat. But true self-love is the fierce protection of one's inner climate. It is listening to the inner child who has been crying out for help. The part of us that is exhausted by the constant stress and anxiety we subjected to. We drive ourselves mercilessly, ignoring the pleas of our own bodies and spirits for rest and kindness, all in the service of external goals. The cost of this neglect is paid by our children. They are the silent witnesses to our stress. When we come home frustrated, reactive, and angry, they absorb that energy. We pass our anxiety down to them like a genetic inheritance. If we truly want our children to have a better life, we must model a better way of living. We cannot teach them peace if we are walking wars. By committing to the practice of peace, by writing that sentence every morning, by managing our reactions, by letting go of the monkey's greed, we are breaking a cycle of suffering. We are showing the next generation that it is possible to live with dignity and calm in a chaotic world. So, the invitation stands before us. Simple and stark. The time for listening to talks and nodding in agreement is over. The time for action has arrived. We do not have unlimited time or energy left in this life. Why waste another moment in anger or regret? The world will continue to spin. But we do not have to spin with it. We can choose to plant our feet on the ground, pick up the pen, and write our own destiny for the day. It begins with that single, quiet sentence, a promise kept to the most important person in your life, yourself. Today is going to be your peaceful day, but only if you make it so.